Hi everybody, my name is Dave Straley and I was in Mr. Spencer's discussion class, section 0164. My speaking skills over the past 14 weeks have been completely refined and absolutely advanced for the better. I look back on my first video where I put on this Tim Tebow jersey and I talked about the life and times of Tim Tebow, and I cringe. The reason why I cringe is because that first video I was very fidgety with my hands. I had a posture that was not very relaxed, it was kind of stern. But the reason why I cringe the most is because I said the word 38 times. I didn't say once, I didn't say it twice, I said it 38 times. Now you fast forward to my last couple of speeches, whether that be my persuasive or my team speech, and it's literally night and day. I'm so much more confident, I'm so much more clear, and I definitely have cut back on my filler words. I came into this class having a little bit of skills, but those skills after these have been completely refined and definitely advanced. Now that being said, I came into this classroom having a little bit of experience with public speaking before taking this. So I never really had any fears about standing up in front of people and presenting myself. I have the type of personality that's very outgoing, and I like to, when I walk into a room, I like to command the room. I like to be the center of attention. So getting up in front of people and talking really isn't a problem for me. Now that being said, there's always a fear of failure for myself. I always feel in the back of my head, well, something could go wrong, something might not go right, and if you fail, that's not going to be good. So I always push myself to use that little bit of failure in the back of my head to give the best, most compelling speech I can. I've had a little bit of experience talking before, so that kind of goes hand in hand with fear and anxiety. No matter if I'm talking in front of one-on-one with a teacher, an interviewer, or someone for my job, or whether I'm speaking in front of a classroom of over 300 people, I always get those little bit of butterflies in my stomach tingling. But again, I feel that both those butterflies and that little bit of fear in the back of my head really propels me to give the most compelling speech that I can give. Like Mr. Milton always said, practice makes, that's right. So I feel that I've definitely learned the more I practiced my speech, the more that I stood in front of a mirror and I gave it over and over and over again, I definitely became more prepared for the speech the next morning or the next day. I used a very mixture of both preparedness and impromptu-ness, though, that I really feel gives the most compelling speech. Because if you memorize everything on the line and you get sidetracked, you are, for lack of a better term, screwed. But if you have that little bit of impromptu-ness on the day of that really flows, you can give such a compelling speech. Now again, coming into this, I said that I was a novice speaker because I had a little bit of experience talking in front of people, and I was very comfortable talking in front of people. And at the end, I still feel I'm a novice speaker, but that meter tips a little bit more towards the expert side for sure. For me to be considered an expert, I would have to be perfected all of my skills regarding public speaking. And while I feel that I'm a great public speaker and that I have really good skills while effectively communicating what I need to communicate, I don't feel that every single one of them have been completely mastered and perfected yet. And again, the key word there is yet. I believe with a little bit more time and with all the techniques that I've used or that I've learned in the past 14, 16 weeks, I definitely will be an expert speaker in absolutely no time. Now, what do I value public speaking? That's one of the questions. From our take-home assignment 1, I have a thing that I wrote down from what I valued in public speaking. I said from the beginning of the class, I learned at a young age that if you grab and hold the attention of your peers, you can influence them in any way you choose. The most effective way of commanding attention is through compelling speech, followed by execution of action. Now that was my views before even taking this class. And after spending the past 14, 16 weeks in this class, those views have just been bolstered and reinforced. I feel that this class needs to be mandatory for all incoming freshmen. Not only because you use oral communication in literally any career that you may choose later in life, but you literally use it every single day of your life. Now, why is the University of Florida making us take a What is the Good Life class, where we learn about old castles and read old Greek Roman plays? Because for me, I'll never use that in my profession. But oral communication, not only will I use that in my everyday life and my career, but I use it in my everyday personal life. So really, this class needs to be mandatory, but I digress. I like to finish off in conclusion by saying, from day one to where I am now, I went from being a very good speaker to being almost that expert speaker. I've learned so many different techniques. I've learned to make better use of my space around me, make much better eye contact. I've learned to always have eye communication with everybody in your room, to involve your peers, and absolutely, I have learned to cut back on my filler words. I will never, ever, ever say 38 times in one day ever again. I promise you that. Finally, I would like to thank Mr. Milton and Mr. Spencer. Mr. Milton, the passion you had in lecture and the passion you had that you brought every single day to class truly made lecture worth going. Sometimes when you go to lecture, you kind of drag yourself to class because it's so boring, but I honestly enjoyed coming to lecture, see how engaging you are with your students, and really learning from you just how effective oral communication can be. And Mr. Spencer, I can't thank you enough for being there for me throughout the entire semester. Whenever I had a question, you were the first to answer it. You connected so closely with every single one of your students and brought such passion to every single class that it really made this class just as educational as it was fun. So I just want to thank you guys both from the bottom of my heart for making me into the bolstered speaker that I am today. Thank you so much in anything that you guys choose to do in your life, and I look forward to working with you both again. Thank you. My name is Dave Straley, and this is my final assignment.